Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be reviewing,
Arrow.
this episode 19, A Dangerous Liaisons. And this was probably the best episode of Arrow in a while,
You think so?
and I'll tell you why.
Please do.
You may or may not have noticed, I think they're really kind of backdoor, no pun intended, trying to press the whole no flashback thing, because there were no flashbacks this episode, was there?
I didn't even notice that. No, there wasn't.
So there we go. So I think they're trying to. Obviously, they're going to need a couple more to the end to show and get back on the island and rescued. But really, for this episode, I think it was just like them kind of testing it, and really, the show didn't suffer. Other positives. I like the kind of dark Felicity stuff.
Yeah, I do, as long as there's some consequences for it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go nowhere.
Well, really, this was kind of a moral and ethical episode in the sense that everyone was mugging each other off on the kind of what they're willing to do to get Adrian Chase.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I mean, some of it annoyed me in the sense that the John and Lyra stuff. Is that her name?
Lyla.
Oh, whatever. I ain't seen her in so long, I forgot her name. So she popped up for what's got to be the first episode this season. Apart from, I think she popped up in the invasion stuff. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I think this is only like her second, maybe third appearance in the whole series. So, I mean, and then her and John were kind of going toe to toe about the kind of black sites and no trials and stuff like that, and just locking people up, and how like being director of Argus has kind of changed her a little bit. And really, I was sitting there for while they're kind of going through that again with Oliver and Felicity over the morality of working with Helix to get the biometric scanner to find Adrian Chase, and it's just like, I wouldn't have these problems. And then like if I was them, if I put myself in John's shoes, like that Lyla stuff wouldn't bother me.
No,
And if
I
I
don't
put
think
myself
it should.
if I put myself in Oliver's shoes, the Felicity stuff wouldn't really bother me.
See, I think that's a little different.
Oh yeah.
With Diggle, I don't get it really. Like you say, she hasn't been in the show that much, and he crossed the worst line with his brother. And so, although I agree with what he did, I think that's come as a bit of an out of the blue kind of thing. I guess kind of they want to pair it up with the Oliver and Felicity thing, which I think makes more sense. Felicity is kind of losing who she is, which may not be a bad thing in the opinion of some people, but she's kind of going down a path that, if she goes down, like Oliver's pointed out in the show, then what really is the point in having her around? You know what I mean? But by now, because he has the other guy, Mr. Terrific, he can essentially fulfill the same purpose. So why keep her around? She's going to be a liability. You know, they basically did the same thing with Thea, in the sense of, you know, she was working and doing crap that Oliver didn't want her doing in the political verse. So it's really. It's about, this whole season's been about how everyone's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Which,
well,
it makes sense, but it's like I said, if you're going to do it, that's great. Just make sure you go somewhere with it.
Yeah, because I was kind of the things that they were kind of debating, I was thinking is pretty pointless, and then when I started to think about it, it's like kind of generally people do kind of kick off over nothing. Like the majority of arguments within a relationship literally are kind of like over nothing, and you sit and think, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And then it's just like, when like John was kicking off, I was thinking like, there's no point to this, you know what I mean? And I think generally, like, it's kind of hypocritical in the sense of like, okay, you're doing a couple of illegal things, you're stealing really data, as it were, and releasing this guy who's pretty much been put there with no trial, is just a person of interest, you know what I mean? So really, Argus had no kind of thing of like they had no real reason to have him locked up. So I thought that was kind of, you know what I mean. But like the
It's
when you're
true.
surrounded with people who like kill people every day.
Right, but I think that's where I think I would agree with Oliver, is where it is hypocritical. But if you're that guy, if you're Oliver Queen, you don't surround yourself with people that are as bad as you are. You surround yourself with people that are better to stop you giving in to that impulse. If he surrounds himself, if Oliver Queen was in the Suicide Squad, he'd be the worst dude around. He'd just be popping phone photos every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? You need to surround yourself with people that are going to stop you from doing that. Yeah, it's hypocritical, but he can afford to be hypocritical.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotional bits in the episode as well. I mean, generally the whole episode revolved around them trying it, like Felicity trying to get these Argus keys so then they can release some hacker guy. And it's interesting because for the whole thing, when like that they had the bag over his head, and then at the end with her on the computer and she kept referencing we and stuff like that, I was expecting like the guy to pop up and show his face, and I was expecting it to be like Deathstroke or something. Then I was thinking, nah, that wouldn't happen. But they made a lot of emphasis on this character, so I'm thinking, is he gonna pop up again?
Probably.
Yeah. So the kind of, because they were kind of, I don't know, considering where they'll go next season, you know, the whole hacking thing, and then they'll kind of put an emphasis on Felicity turning, and I was thinking, are they going to try and turn her into a villain for the kind of next season
No,
and
that's
stuff like that? But I mean, in terms of the emotional stuff, I mean, the stuff that kind of poked out, obviously, the B plot was Rene and Hoss, their kind of stuff with his kid. And like the best bit of the show is like when he goes and sees the kid and stuff like that, and like the kid turns around and calls him Hoss as well. I thought that was pretty sick. Obviously, there was a lot of kind of emotional discussion. You know, Quentin still hurting from losing Laurel, and also kind of the conversation between John and Lyra at the end. I mean, they're on
Lyla.
oh, whatever, man. Lyra, and like I think it was like I was sitting there and I was thinking, damn, that was really well written, because they were like arguing and it was like, oh, I know where this argument ends up, obviously referencing them divorcing the first time round and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, that was a sick line. That was really well written. It's a shame
Yeah.
the whole rest of the show ain't written like that, but that was solid, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, that's top notch writing there. That like the few sentences there, but then it kind of declined to stupidity again. But that right there, best line of the show.
I think Rene and Lance have been a good pairing this year.
Definitely.
I think it's worked in both's favour. It's made, bringing in new characters this deep into a show can be difficult. I mean, I don't think anyone's really attached to the new Black Canary yet. I hate her, but she could disappear and I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Whereas with Rene, I think by adding him with Lance, you've made him likable, and it's given Lance a reason to still be on the show. With both his kids gone, I know they're going to maybe bring back Black Canary, I don't know, but with both his kids gone, and he's no longer got the Jim Gordon Batman dynamic going with Oliver, you need something to keep him on the show, and I think that's worked.
Yeah. While I was kind of watching it as well, the setting really works well, the kind of mayoral stuff, in the sense that they're all kind of together instead of they're all doing different things and stuff like that, because I mean the Black Canary girl, she's with him. Rene is always around with like Quentin and around the kind of mayoral office, so all of them except for I think obviously Felicity is like down in the Arrow Cave doing stuff, and so is like Mr. Terrific. Like really those kind of main cast members are all like stuck together in the same kind of thing in the mayoral place, so that works better, so it's not all spaced out, it's concise and terse in terms of like, oh, let's go get her from across town and stuff like that, and then it's flicking from place to place. It's only like really transitioning from the mayoral place and the Arrow Cave, which kind of keeps it tight in terms of story.
Yeah, it's effective. It's where originally when the show first started, I thought that's essentially what they were going to do with Queen Consolidated, and obviously they moved away from that, so it does help to have them in one place.
Also, kind of the Mr. Terrific thing now is that the worry was that he was kind of they were going to stick him behind a desk and they'd kind of lose all the potential, but really they kind of switch him between that and being in field. The T-spheres, I think they work well as well. He's been utilising them well. So I mean, in terms of like, I think his is a good character as well.
I think the team is probably in the best state it's ever been. I think in the run of the show.
So how does the new Black Canary, how does Katie Cassidy coming back affect that?
I don't, I've said before, this is just a guess, I have no idea, but I would guess that she's going to be more like Catwoman. She's not going to be part of the team regularly. She's going to be someone that Oliver can chase around, occasionally hook up with.
Let's talk numbers. Well, she's going to be coming back because in the sizzle reel she featured as well. So I think she reveals herself to Quentin Lance. So I think the fact that they've kind of made this new Black Canary, it's like she served the purpose as like she filled an episode with her like backstory and stuff like that, but apart from that she has really featured in the backlines and stuff like that. I mean, the effects on her Sonic thing was sick, because when she was blasting people in this episode, that was pretty good. But in terms of like stuff like, she's just there, you're aware she's there, but she's really not doing much.
True, but they I don't dislike the character at this point, so they have time to work on it next season, but you're right, it'd be like what's the face, Artemis, who disappeared for most of the season. I literally forgot she ever existed, so they've got to make sure that doesn't happen. But like I say, I don't think Black Siren is going to be a regular team member, so they can work on that. I will go I'll give it an 8. I thought it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll probably give it an 8.5. There was some really, I mean, the emotional bits were on point, and some of the dialogue was like probably the best writing, but really it was like maybe 1 or 2 lines for the whole episode, and the rest was I like the kind of anti-hero Felicity and stuff like that. I prefer the angry Felicity to the wuss Felicity all day long, and obviously the episode ended with like Adrian, they went through all that rubbish just for him to end up in the Arrow Cave anyway. So like the computer blew up and then the episode ended. At the start, the kind of references with the kind of arcade game and stuff like that was a bit batty. I was like, yo, you're going to get your head popped off any second now, let's not focus on that. So yeah, but I'll give it an 8.5, because I mean, if the writing was as solid as those little bits were for the majority of the episodes, it would be a damn good show. But they nailed them few lines of dialogue, the emotional stuff. Again, I'm still trying to work out how Wild Dog's gonna raise this kid and be a vigilante at the same time. Because I mean, the kid's at school and stuff like that, but who's gonna look after the kid when he's going out at night?
It's a good question. I mean, he might not get full custody. Maybe he'll get shared. Oh well, no, there's no one to share custody with, is there?
No.
Maybe it'll be Lance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he ain't got any kids anymore, is he? There's someone for him to look after.
That'd be pretty cool.
Solved it.
Make a little sitcom out of that. Okay.
Modern parenting.
So that is our review of episode 19 of Arrow. 4 episodes left. It's hotting up. The series finale is going to be good. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And we'll see you in the next episode.